We are living in a world which is impacted by COVID, George Floyd's death, and Amphan, the cyclone that ravaged West Bengal, India just recently. Literally, the life just stopped. It's a different world. It's a crazy world. So we have selected songs and poems that talk about our reflections during this time, joys, sorrows, and prayers. You will see translations of all songs scrolling on the screen and also translations of the poems. Hopefully, those translations will give you an insight into the poet's mind. You will also see a number of artwork embedded within the songs. Those are all paintings of Tagore. I must mention that the songs are not only written by Tagore, but also composed by him. I've been asked that question by a lot of people. Yes, you heard me right. He wrote and composed the songs. The first song talks about the connection to the world through a song. Not just through melody, but through a song. We will get to that explanation after we hear that song. My friend Mona will be joining me in the next segment.
ঘা রসের ধারায় আপন সীমা কোথায় হারায়, তখন দেখি আমার সাথে সবার কানাকানি। গানের ভিতর দিয়ে যখন দেখি ভুবন খানি, তখন তারে চিনি আমি, তখন তারে জানি। গানের ভিতর দিয়ে যখন দেখি ভুবন খানি।
Maitreyee, I remember you mentioning that in Tagore's first draft of the song, he crossed out the word shurer, meaning melody, and replaced it with ganer, meaning song, in the first line.
Yes. So translated, it would be when I connect to the world through melody instead of when I connect to the world with song.
Yes, I kept wondering why he did that.
Well, I thought about it. I think when melody marries the words, it becomes complete, right?
Yes.
And so that completeness is a song. Probably that's the reason why Tagore preferred the word song instead of melody. In fact, Tagore wrote a lot of songs on the topic of songs and melody. You know that.
Yes.
As I speak, another beautiful song keeps buzzing in my brain. It starts like this. Ganero shurero ashono khani ati pother dhare o go pothik tumi eshe boshbe bare bare. You want a translation?
Yes.
Very loose translation
It
is
sung beautifully.
yes, it's a beautiful, the thought is really beautiful. So the loosely translated, it says, I weave a mat with the melodies of my song, with the hope that you, the traveler, will sit on it and rest for a while.
That's so beautiful. Well, we should proceed to our next song, which I know will also be beautiful. And you said to us that during the last 2 months, this song visited you often. Can you explain why?
Yes, you're right. It did visit me many times. Interestingly, the song talks about a pause in work and treating that pause like a respite and accepting it with grace. So, as I practiced my social distancing, I couldn't see you guys. I kept thinking that what if I change my mindset and accept this social distancing with grace? And you know what? That definitely gave me some inner peace. So without further ado, let's hear the song.
কোলাহল তো বারণ হলো, এবার কথা কানে কানে, এখন হবে প্রাণের আলাপ, কেবল মাত্র গানে গানে। কোলাহল তো বারণ হলো, রাজার পথে লোক ছুটেছে, বেচা কেনার হাঁক উঠেছে। আমার ছুটি অবেলাতেই দিন দুপুরের মধ্যখানে কাজের মাঝে ডাক পড়েছে। কেন যে তা কেই বা জানে, কোলাহল তো বারণ হলো। মোর কাননে অকালে ফুল উঠুক তবে মঞ্জরিয়া, মধ্যদিনে মৌমাছিরা বেড়াক মৃদু গুঞ্জরিয়া। মোর কাননে অকালে ফুল উঠুক তবে মঞ্জরিয়া, মধ্যদিনে মৌমাছিরা বেড়াক মৃদু গুঞ্জরিয়া। মন্দ ভালোর দ্বন্দ্বে খেটে গেছে দুদিন অনেক কেটে, অলস বেলার খেলার সাথী এবার আমার হৃদয়ে টানে, বিনা কাজের ডাক পড়েছে। কেন যে তা কেই বা জানে, কোলাহল তো বারণ হলো। এবার কথা কানে কানে, এখন হবে প্রাণের আলাপ। কেবল মাত্র গানে গানে, কোলাহল তো বারণ হলো।
Thank you, Maitreyee, for giving me the opportunity to talk about someone who's so close to my heart. A very good evening to everyone. It gives me immense pride and pleasure to talk about an author, a musician, an educationist, an environmentalist, a philosopher, an activist, all rolled into one, Rabindranath Tagore. I don't know whether it's just me, but I feel like on certain days, a certain facet of this Renaissance man appeals to me. Some days it's the poet Rabindranath, some days it's the musician Rabindranath, some days it's the philosopher Rabindranath. In these days of unrest and brutality and protests, the activist Rabindranath comes to mind. About 100 years back, when India was still under British rule, the colonial rulers opened fire and killed hundreds of innocent people who were celebrating a good harvest. Rabindranath wanted to organize a protest rally in Calcutta, but this idea did not fly with the high and mighty leaders of that time. Deserted and dejected, he went on to compose the cult song, "Jodi tor dak shune keu na ashe, tobe ekla cholo re," which translates to, "If there's no one responding to your call, walk alone." And boy, this man did walk alone. He wrote a letter to the Viceroy of India, and I'm reading a part of the letter which you see on your screen right now. The time has come when badges of honor make our shame glaring in their incongruous context of humiliation. I, for my part, wish to stand shorn of all special distinctions by the side of my countrymen, who, for their so-called insignificance, are liable to suffer a degradation not fit for human beings. Tagore renounced the coveted knighthood that was given to him by King George V. These days, I don't know why, but Rabindranath keeps coming to me, keeps crawling to my mind. It's weird that this man who was born 159 years back, who died 3 decades before I was born, still stands tall as my most bona fide buddy. He's the one I can share my smiles with, shed my tears with, grieve my losses with. He's my soulmate, my confidant, my friend. And I don't think I speak just for myself when I say so. This man has this universal appeal among Bengalis all over. You know, we have this tendency of carving or chiseling out a Rabindranath, a customized Rabindranath just for ourselves. He's the one we seek refuge in, we cherish, we nurture. In joy and sorrow, hope and despair, we turn to him and his works. And why not? He is the one-stop shop with 3,000 plus poems, over 2,200 songs, about 4,000 letters, 12 novels, 93 short stories and plays, 2,500 paintings, 50 books. I mean, how many can flaunt a resume like that? But the most interesting thing that I feel is he won the Nobel Prize without any formal education whatsoever. Yep, you heard me right. An elementary school dropout goes on to win the Nobel Prize for Literature, establishes a university that produces a future prime minister, a future Nobel laureate, a future Oscar winner, future diplomats, future musicians, artists, you name them. And they have all excelled in their own respective fields. How cool is that? And while I'm still talking about the institution, Bishwabharati, I would also like to bring forth the unique concept that he introduced in the institutions that he had established, the concept of outdoor classes. Under the sky, beneath the tree, on the grass, unbridled, uncaged, very close to nature. Yes, Tagore was definitely out and out an environmentalist. He had this inordinate fondness and fancy for nature. He composed about 282 songs on nature. Out of those, 40% were hogged by Borsha or rainy season. So you can very well imagine what his favorite season was. Since today's program is titled Tagore's Love Letter to Mother Earth, I thought it would be a good idea to read a few lines from his Borsha Chithi. It's a letter which describes the rains, how rains make him nostalgic, how it makes him go back to his childhood, how the make-believe stories come alive during rainy seasons. And this piece will lead into a poem where a child plants a tamarind seed, fantasizes around it, and then what happens after. So, Borsha 'র 'চিঠি। যৌবনের যেমনি বসন্ত, বার্ধক্যের যেমনি শরৎ, বাল্যকালের তেমনি বর্ষা। বর্ষাকাল ঘরে থাকবার কাল, কল্পনা করবার কাল, গল্প শোনবার কাল, ভাই বোনে মিলে খেলা করবার কাল। বর্ষার অন্ধকারে অসম্ভব উপকথাগুলো কেমন যেন সত্যি হয়ে দাঁড়ায়। এই জন্য আষাঢ়ের সঙ্গে আষাঢ়ে গল্পের যুগ। এই জন্য বলছিলাম বর্ষাকাল বালকের কাল। বর্ষাকালে ছেলেবেলার কথাই মনে পড়ে। একটুখানি জায়গা ছিল রান্নাঘরের পাশে, সেইখানে মোর খেলা হতো শুকনো পাড়া ঘাসে। একটা ছিল ছাইয়ের গাদা, মস্ত ঢিবির মতো, পোড়া কয়লা দিয়ে দিয়ে সাজিয়েছিলেন কত। কেউ জানে না সেইটে আমার পাহাড় মিছিমিছি, তারই তলায় পুঁতেছিলেন একটি তেঁতুল বিচি। জন্মদিনের ঘটা ছিল 6 বছরের ছেলে, সেদিন দিল আমার গাছে প্রথম পাতা মেলে। চারদিকে তার পাঁচিল দিলেম কেরোসিনের টিনে, সকাল বিকেল জল দিয়েছি দিনের পরে দিনে। জলখাবারের অংশ আমার এনে দিতেম তাকে, কিন্তু তাহার অনেকখানি লুকিয়ে খেত কাকে। দুধ যা বাকি থাকতো দিতেম, জানতো না কেউ সে তো। পিঁপড়ে খেত খানিকটা তার, গাছ কিছু বা খেত। চিকন পাতায় ছেয়ে গেল, ডাল দিল সে পেতে। মাথায় আমার সমান হলো 2 বছর না যেতে। একটি মাত্র গাছ সে আমার, একটুকু সেই কোণ, চিত্রকূটের পাহাড় তলায় সেই হলো মোর বোন। কেউ জানে না সেথায় থাকেন অষ্টাবক্রমুনি, মাটির পরে দাড়ি গড়ায়, কথা কন্যা উনি। রাত্রে শুয়ে বিছানাতে শুনতে পেতেম কানে, রাক্ষসেরা প্যাঁচার মতন চেঁচাতো সেইখানে। 9 বছরের জন্মদিনে তার তলে শেষ খেলা, ডালে দিলুম ফুলের মালা সেদিন সকালবেলা। বাবা গেলেন মুন্সিগঞ্জে রানাঘাটের থেকে, কলকাতাতে আমায় দিলেন পিসির কাছে রেখে। রাত্রে শুয়ে বিছানাতে পড়ে আমার মনে, সেই তেঁতুলের গাছটি আমার আস্তা কুড়ের কোণে। আর সেখানে নেই তপবন, বয়না সুরধুনি, অনেক দূরে চলে গেছেন অষ্টাবক্রমুনি। That poem was titled Chitrakoot, and that brings me to the end of my segment. In the next hour or so, Maitreyee will immerse us in her tuneful melodies and enriching discourse. I'm looking forward to soaking myself in Tagore and his outpouring love for nature, and I hope you stick around and do the same. Over to you, Maitreyee.
I hope you enjoyed the introduction by Raka and her beautiful recitation. In normal circumstances, I present a program with my colleague and friend Mona Roy. But she has had a recent death in the family and she's obviously not available. So I asked my son, Shayok Chakraborty, to present the program with me. And I hope he does a good job.
Yeah, I'm actually going to do a great job. And I plan to put Monamashi out of work. So my name is Shayok Chakraborty. I am the son of Maitreyee Chakraborty, and I grew up second generation in the United States as a Bengali American. And because of that, I've read translations of Tagore. I grew up in a very Tagore-filled household, but my Bangla is not fluent. So I don't get the full flavor of his work. And these kinds of programs that you do, and I'm now able to participate in one, they're learning opportunities for me. And I was so excited. I grew my hair out. I have this beard. I really wanted to look the part. I wanted to look like Rabindranath Tagore. And so, I think that you'll agree with me that I'm pretty much there, wouldn't you say?
Okay. Did you have a question for me or what? Miss
I don't know if
Rabindranath,
I don't
Mr.
know if I-
Rabindranath Tagore, do you have a question for me?
I guess it's fine. So I know Tagore was a prolific writer. I know that he wrote about a great deal of topics.
Mhm.
But why did you choose to do a concert on his work on nature?
So I have always wanted to do a program on Tagore's nature songs because more often than not, I see nature's beauty through Tagore's lenses. For those of you who love Tagore's poems and songs, you know how vivid the imagery are in each of his nature poems, the descriptions. They're alive with imagery. I'll give you an example. So, growing up as a Bengali, in a Bengali household, the one song of Tagore that every Bengali knows is Alo Amar Alo. It's a song about sunlight. So the first line goes, Alo Amar, Alo Ogo, Aloe Bhuban Bhara, Alo Noyon Dhoa Amar, Alo Hridoy Hara. So the light, the beautiful sunlight, it fills the world and it fills my heart. So in one of the lines later on in this song says, Alor Srote Pal Tuleche Hajar Projapati. Loosely translated, it means 1,000 butterflies set sail in a stream of light. So as a child, actually, I thought butterflies carry light in their wings. But that image never went away. So as I grew older, I carried this image in a bit changed form. Even now, if the day is not going well for me, I could close my eyes and hum that song, and the day gets filled with thousands of colorful butterflies flooded in sunlight. Isn't that a beautiful image?
Yeah, that is gorgeous.
That will lighten up your day anytime. So my first song is a short song of 4 lines, and it pretty much sums up why I love Tagore's nature songs so much.
আজ যেমন করে গাইছে আকাশ তেমনি করে গাও গো আজ যেমন করে আজ যেমন করে চাইছে আকাশ তেমনি করে চাও গো আজ যেমন করে আজ হাওয়া যেমন পাতায় পাতায় মোর মরিয়া বনকে কাঁদায় হাওয়া যেমন পাতায় কাঁদিয়া কাঁদাও গো আজ যেমন করে গাইছে আকাশ তেমনি করে গাও গো আজ যেমন করে আজ যেমন করে চাইছে আকাশ তেমনি করে চাও গো আজ যেমন করে।
I know that Tagore was not just a writer, but he was also a painter. Could you tell me something about his work as a painter?
Sure. He was a painter and a prolific one at that. So Rabindranath took up painting when he was 67 and painted over 2,000 paintings until he passed away at 80. You will see some of his paintings embedded in the songs that you will hear, and I hope you enjoy them.
Wow, he really was almost like a bodily renaissance man.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
He was indeed.
Earlier, you told me that you chose to do this program on nature and a little bit about why you chose to do this program on nature. But what exactly is so appealing to you about Tagore's approach to nature?
Very good question. So Tagore did not just see nature as a spectator. So it was more organic. And he intertwined it with human emotions like love, spiritualism, sorrow, and more. So for example, my next song is on the arrival of spring, and see how this particular song is intertwined with the love of divine.
সঙ্গীত উচ্ছ্বসিত হে হরসঙ্গীত উচ্ছ্বসিত কিরণ মগন গগনে একিলা বনে পূর্ণ প্রাণ প্রাণে সোহে আনন্দ বসন্ত সমাগমে একিলা বনে পূর্ণ প্রাণ প্রাণে সোহে